Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my show, The Unlearned Content. Actually, it was branded as Awareness Hub, wherein I wanted people to even basic understanding, or I would say, like, I want everyone to know and understand all the things that's happening around the world. Because if you look at the current world right now, we have a lot of stuff that's happening, at a rapid scale, I would say. I think it was just 2 years back, everybody were talking about Web3, NFTs, and a lot of stuff. And now, like, everybody are talking about AI. Like, we don't know what is going to be after like 1 year. So my sole intention was that the place wherever I stayed, people around me, they didn't know anything about freelancing content creation. It was like kind of very sad for me to see that, in spite of all the updates that's happening around, like people are not aware of that. So I thought like, let me have my own podcast and YouTube show wherein I thought like I'll bring in guests like you to share your experience and expertise so that I can make my audience understand and learn about all the things which gives them awareness. I'm a big believer of awareness equals opportunity. Meaning like if you're aware, you know what is happening. If you know what is happening, you can get prepared and you can tap into the opportunity. But if you're not at all aware, like you're like completely lost, right? So with that sole intention, I just created this awareness app, but now I've rebranded into unlearned content. Meaning like I'm just not gonna throw you a bunch of content. I don't want you to get lost in the pool of content that's present online. I just wanted to give you exactly what is required, or I would say like what is hot at the right moment, so that you get, you become smarter. So in that sense, like I've been doing this, I think this is my 10th episode. I'm so grateful for that. And my 10th guest is Anushka. So first of all, thank you so much, Anushka, for accepting the invitation and speaking on my show. So how do you feel to be on my show?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I absolutely love the concept behind it. I mean, unlearning stuff, I think that's like first step of learning something new. To unlearn things, that's very important. And this is my first podcast, so I'm
Wow,
excited as well.
it's an honor to
So
have to make you as my first, guest. It's an honor.
it's an honor to be here, and I'm super excited about all the conversations that we are going to have. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So let's get started. So Rashka, like you're completely into lead generation. I mean, you're a freelancer and you're completely lead generation. You help business and brands to generate as much leads as possible using social media and LinkedIn and things like that. So firstly, I just wanted to start off this conversation with AI. Obviously, I think I mean like no one can be in this present world without talking about the word AI, or I would say the most hyper rated, I would say, word called ChatGPT, right? So it's like, we cannot stay without that word. So what do you think about AI? How has AI, specifically has impacted this lead generation? Right? Like I'm not completely aware of your methods or like which platform do you use in order to generate leads for brands and businesses. So like what do you, on the whole, how has AI impacted lead generation? And like, how is it playing out in 2023 and beyond?
Okay, yeah. So before answering that, I would like to take you a little back to personal branding aspect because
Sure.
personal branding is what I do at core.
Mhm.
So recently I have changed my positioning from being a personal branding strategist to now a lead generation and a personal branding strategist.
Okay.
So in terms of AI, I see a lot of negative, positive, a lot of mixed reviews going around. A lot of people are scared, a lot of people are excited. Like I'm super excited about where this whole AI
So
thing is
obviously,
going
you are a
because
techie. So obviously, since you have pursued, the background is, I consider like you would be excited.
yes, so that's why I'm very excited to see where it goes. So I remember, I think ChatGPT came out in November. I think it came out in December last year.
Mhm.
So before that, one of my friends introduced me to OpenAI. And before that,
Okay.
I had no idea there is something called OpenAI.
Mhm.
And I was blown away. I'm like, dude, this is gonna automate like 50% of my business.
Exactly.
And I started using it, and like I think 2 or 3 weeks later, they rolled out ChatGPT. And again, completely blown away. And ever since, I have done so many courses on ChatGPT. I'm like, I want to learn like each and every single aspect of it because there's just so much that you can do with ChatGPT. And in between, from time to time, like I keep hearing people say that, hey, don't you think now that the chat GPT is here, clients can, do it themselves? Why do people need to hire you for writing content or for reaching out or for any of it? And I do agree. I mean, you can do it, but again, you need to learn how to use chat GPT for that.
True. Very true.
Just like Googling is a skill, if you know how to use Google to your leverage, if you know how to search, if you know how to find out the right things, you can make the most out of it. Similarly, when it comes to ChatGPT, you need to know like the prompts that you want to give, and it's not just limited to content creation. I take help of ChatGPT to plan out strategies for social media, for lead generation, for growth. And there's like just so much you can do. I think content creation is just like 0.1% of it. Not 0.1%, let's call it 1 to 2% of the whole things that you can do using ChatGPT. And people are obviously talking more about the content creation aspect of it. So I think there's a lot more to it. And I am super excited where the entire thing goes. And as long as it's concerned about whether AI is going to take away the jobs and whether the AI is going to replace me, I think the people who I serve, like I can only speak about my industry. So I help founders, and founders do not have the time to even use AI.
So,
Like
yeah.
they do not have the time to, yeah, sorry, please.
Yeah, you just I'll come like you're comparing.
Yeah, so founders do not even have the time to strategize about the content. They take like 80 to 100 decisions in a day. And after working for 2 years with founders, they are the most busiest people on the earth. It's so hard to get a hold of them, to even get inputs on content ideas and everything. So I don't think so they have the time to use ChatGPT. And secondly, you cannot just use ChatGPT is not so advanced that you can right away use the content. You obviously need to tweak it. You obviously need to modify it. And that comes when you have done the groundwork. So this is one thing. Now we are getting a little deviated, but this is one thing which is very important, that recently, like one of my friends, whom I'm helping with to get started with freelancing, and he started using ChatGPT. And I have used ChatGPT so much, like I see something from ChatGPT, I can tell this is written by ChatGPT.
Oh,
So I was like, dude, you're just writing all the content, like copying all the content from ChatGPT. And he goes like, so is it not a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And I was like, see, it's not a bad thing, but here's the thing. Right now, it's your time to do the groundwork. And if you use something like ChatGPT, um, I wouldn't say shortcut, but yeah, if you rely too much on ChatGPT, your skills won't develop, and then it will be problematic. So I think the people who are just getting into learning a new skill, they should be a little careful, strike a balance between using ChatGPT and actually doing the work themselves.
makes sense.
So
Like
yeah,
since like when I asked you about like and you said like you was like completely blown away, right? Like I think it's not only you, the whole world was completely blown away. Actually, AI was there for a longest period of time, but everybody like no one has ever thought that OpenAI could do something like this. Not only OpenAI, like there are other softwares as well, but we just thought that all this physical labor could be automated and things like that. But no one has ever no. Like we have this pyramid, right? Like at the bottom you have all this physical job, and then like white collar job, highly professional skill like that. We thought like Chat GPT and OpenAI or for AI for that for that matter, like we thought like it would go from the bottom up, but it came like from top to bottom. Like it started taking away this white collar skill, all of those things, and then slowly it's moving on because it's the data, right? Like in order to train an AI, like you need data. Like if you take a physical job and things like this, like no much data, right? Like no, if you want a robot to lay out a brick, like there's no proper data to train that. There's like not much of an online data, right? But if you take YouTube thumbnail creator, for example, like if you are a designer, if you're creating YouTube thumbnails, like you just think about the data that internet has. Like I think YouTube has been there for like more than 15 years or so, right? Like how many people would have created how many types of thumbnails? So they have a lot of training data, which makes them easier, to train AI. And that was like, as you said, it was like completely no one has like ever imagined that open AI could have done something like this. As you said, content creation using chat GPT, I would say it's just 1 to 2%, as you said. It's like literally more than that. People, even me actually, in order to draft a mail, in order to write, follow-up mail, I literally use ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for everything, as you said, like, strategizing and things like that. But, so that's like one part. The other part, as you said, coming back to your point about this content creation, like we cannot exactly take away everything from, ChatGPT, right? Because as you said, like if you are a brand, if you have already built the groundwork, as you said, if you have already built that brand, if you have already have that community, uh, those people I would say they can like kind of take those fun and give it to me because they already have the distribution channel with them, and people have believed in your community and believed in your brand. So like there's like not much of a problem, but people who are just getting started, like they need, as you said, like we need to do to have this groundwork. As you said, like we have to
Yes,
show like who we
that's
are
very
really
important.
first. Like we have to show that authenticity, right? And only then you can kind of use those tools. Of course, like you can use it to generate ideas, kind of elaborate content, but you cannot like completely take A to Z of a content from ChatGPT, right? So that's like one part that people you know have to look upon, right?
So I think with everything that comes, there are always pros and cons to it.
Certainly.
And I think will be like the one of the cons that if you just start relying on it too much, I mean, I take use of ChatGPT every single day. Like when they rolled out the pro subscription, I wasn't even hesitant. I was like, I'm buying this right away. And I'm seeing the changes. Like it's very different. They are also very smart with the pricing model on like the business end of
Exactly.
things, downgrading the free version of it, and so all of that. But yeah, I think a person who is just getting started, it's going to be very tricky for them because now they have to strike a balance that yes, you can use it for inspiration, you can use it to get a rough idea about things, but completely relying on it can take a toll on your skill set.
Makes
So,
sense.
and I think with AI being, as you said, AI has been there for a really long time. But I think now it's very accessible because it with Chat GPT. So literally everyone can use it. And plus it's free. So
Exactly.
which makes it everyone like people need to be careful while using it, in short.
Next, again to continue with this lead generation part. So could you just, walk us through, I wouldn't ask for strategies. I don't want you to get deep into strategies. Like I just wanted to ask you, like, which are the main platform do you use in order to generate leads for brands and businesses? And if it is, so if it is LinkedIn, so what do you think LinkedIn has changed in the past like 1 to 2 years? Like I think there's like a lot of changes that's happening to LinkedIn. People have been telling that video is gonna become a little more, little more accessible. Like more people are gonna use videos. So like first, you just walk us through the platform that you specifically use in order to generate leads. And secondly, like if it is LinkedIn, like what has LinkedIn changed in the past 1 to 2 years in terms of lead generation? Because at the end of the day, LinkedIn is known for its lead generation, right? Like everybody speak about
Yes.
LinkedIn as a great tool for lead generation. So please walk us through that.
So first of all, I use LinkedIn mostly, LinkedIn and emails for lead generation. Because on LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is like one of the platforms I'm very biased towards because I've been there on it for the past 2 years. So I prefer it more. I prefer it in terms of content creation. I think it's very easy to grow. Comparatively, it's easier to grow on LinkedIn if you're putting out quality content because the organic reach is pretty good.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
community is very solid. Yes, exactly. I mean, people are not running ads using their personal posts. That's still not there, so which is an advantage. So that being said, I think a lot has changed in terms of lead generation in general as well. Like for
Okay.
example, not a lot of people were using social media for lead generation previously, and now as everyone gets to know about it, everyone starts to use it. And now people know pretty much okay, there is it's not no rocket science. You generate a list of data. For example, if I want to help owners digital marketing agency owners, I will generate the list of data. For that, again, there are numerous tools that you can use to generate data, and using those tools you'll get a list of all the leads you can potentially reach out to, and then you take that data and you start reaching out to them. Now there are two ways. Either you can like send out 100 emails at once, which is mass outreach, or you can just send out 5 to 7 emails, but you make sure that it's personalized. Again, the strategy differs from person to person because for some people mass outreach has done wonders. For me, the personalization aspect has done wonders so far. Like
Okay.
whenever I have sent, so I recently ran a campaign. And the open rate was 70%, which is incredible
For email.
considering the
Even for email
yeah,
campaign.
for email.
So
Yes,
very
yes.
it's really insane because
I know
open rate for email is that's really okay.
somewhere around 30% or something. It's somewhere around that, but I was able to get 70% open rate. So, which is pretty cool. And I think the personalization factor does help a lot, considering now people are getting spammed with emails. Like, literally, if you're a founder, this is something I've noticed. If you're a founder, your inbox is filled with pitches from everyone, from everyone. Like, it's so much. Sometimes I think like now this is, if I say this out loud, it's gonna happen my business. But with a founder, it's so much easier to grow their LinkedIn account because people are constantly pitching you for work. They send you connection requests, and your follow count keeps growing. So it's so much more easier to grow as a founder. But yeah, like with so many pitches coming in, now you need to make sure that you need to stand out. That's where smart things come in place, that how you're writing the copy, at what time you're reaching out. Like there are a lot of them different factors that comes into the play. So recently I've been trying out mass outreach as well, and to see, because I've been hearing about it since a long time, and I was like, okay, I really want to try it. I do not really believe in it because I feel, generic, everyone receives generic emails and generic pitches all day. So chances of getting a reply on that, in my opinion, is very difficult.
Very true, very true.
Considering this is also something I have done for my clients. And we haven't had we haven't had good response for generic emails. So personalization is where my bias is again. But yeah, I think with things being more accessible, things starts to get saturated as well. And then again, pros and cons, and
Exactly.
you need to figure out a
When a
way.
product or a service, like anything for that matter, becomes mainstream, it becomes saturated, as you said,
It does. But then I also have like I wouldn't say a theory, but I also believe in this thing that the top 1% always stay empty. So people say that freelancing has been saturated. There are so many freelancers, but in reality, the good people to work with, and now good being a very subjective thing here. But I think the top 1% still has a lot of space for everyone. So if your work ethics are on point, you can be there.
It's true. See, when people say freelancing is saturated, so does engineering, so does medical, so does any other profession for that matter. So it's like, how are you putting up yourself? It's a matter of your
That's
skill set.
another perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's your skill set, personality, work ethic, and all those factors come into play, right? So that's
like I think top 1% never gets saturated, irrespective of the industry. So when somebody asks me that, hey Anushka, like what's like the most, the best, highest earning field or domain, I'm like, dude, pick anything, whatever you like. And if you're in the top 1%, trust me, you'll be making shitload of money. So you don't really need to get into the whole race of, okay, these five are the top earning, like high demand skills or high demand industry. So I'm going to get into these. You can choose whatever you want to, become the top 1%, and there you have it. Of course, it's not as simple as I'm making it sound like, but yeah.
everything is not easy. Everything has its price, and you've got to pay the price, right? So that was kind of good. Yeah. And about the second question, like, what do you think? I mean, like, how has LinkedIn changed specifically for lead generation? Is there anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, the same thing. That now people are getting a lot more pitches. The pitches are more generic. The pitches, one thing I have noticed, and I'm not sure like if I can, like speak on behalf of everyone, but now the pitches are very long. Again, it's kind of a turn off that I understand that you are trying to put in efforts and show, but nobody really has the time to read the entire thing. So you also need to ensure that it's short, conveys the message, doesn't take the person's time a lot, and again, short conveys the message. So that's how you break it. Because I think the emails that I have sent in, like all the mass outreach or like whatever outreach I've done, whenever I have tried to go by the approach where I'm like adding a lot of text, it doesn't really get a good response. Again, can't say on everyone's behalf, but this is what I have experienced in my case. I've done both short emails, long emails, medium sized emails, and I think medium sized, short to medium emails work the best because they don't take a lot of time, and secondly, they convey the message at the same time. Besides, you don't need to tell your entire history to the other person in the first message. You can wait for the second, third, fourth message. You can have a conversation, build a relationship. So I think that's one thing that I have noticed. Like all the pitches that I get are so long. Like I'm like, I really appreciate the amount of efforts you're putting in, but I genuinely do not have the time to read it because I just get a lot of them. So that's something I think people need to take a little more care about.
Okay, that's awesome. And I think, I mean, like, since you're wanted regeneration on LinkedIn, like, how has premium account helped you? Because, people say that we get a lot of functionality with free account as well, but premium, I think I've used a free version of premium, LinkedIn Premium, and I've used the Sales Navigator, like I've played around with Sales Navigator and all those tools. So specifically, like, how has LinkedIn Premium helped you in terms of lead generation? Is it really worth the amount? Because see, LinkedIn Premium is like really costly. I hope you're like aware of it, right? I mean, like, yes. So like, is it really worth the amount? Is it kind of giving you the results what you're expecting?
What do you think? Take a wild guess.
Uh, I would say since LinkedIn is a very great platform and since specifically all these professional people, great for networking, I would say it would be good provided you do it properly because like I have used it, I've used Sales Navigator, but maybe like my skills wasn't matched to the point. So I did not get the result which I expected. But, by looking at all the results and data, I would say it is a great tool. It kind of helps people, but provided you know how to do it properly. The strategy matters a lot is what I would say.
Not really. I had premium and my account was banned and I wasn't doing anything, like literally nothing. And my account got banned out of nowhere. So I kind of gave up on the whole premium part of it, but no doubt, Sales Navigator is great. It's great.
Okay.
Like in terms of extracting data, because there's just so much data on LinkedIn. And then there is this feature in Sales Navigator, which is if this person posted in last 30 days and it's and if the person posts, of course, the person is active.
Active.
So if you're reaching out to them, higher chances that, they'll at least get back to you, if not get converted. So I think Sales Navigator is great, but it's very expensive. It's $5,000. So either you are able to, generate like high ROI on this, then it's great. Otherwise, there are a lot of free options as well. So, it's not like one of those things that you cannot function without. It's fine if you don't want to go for it. I think there are other great options in the market as well. If you want to generate leads, for LinkedIn, I would say Galaxy is great, Phantom Buster is great. But again, I do not. Okay, so I'll tell you, I'm very scared of LinkedIn as a platform. I'm very scared of LinkedIn as a platform.
I want to break into that. You just complete. I'll tell you.
So, because I think LinkedIn as a platform is very, very sensitive. It's so sensitive that you do something and it just bans you very quickly. Like, so I have like faced this with my account. I have faced it with my client's account. The account getting suspended and banned for absolutely no reason. Like, okay, so the connection request limit in a week is 100. So you can send 100 connection requests from your account. Okay. And I was sending around 50, 60 connection requests because I knew that the limit is 100. So I was like, I want to be on the same side. So let me just stick to 50, 60. Despite that, my account got banned and I wasn't using any automation. I wasn't doing anything. It was just content creation and reaching out to 5 to 7 people every day. And then when that happened, I kind of gave up. I was like, I'm so scared because all the work that I have done, like all the community that I have gathered over a period of time, it's just going to go away like this if anything goes wrong. So I am very scared and this support, like the customer care team is like, so what do you say? Like it's very unhelpful. They never get back to you. I've tried reaching out to them multiple times. At least I want to know like what went wrong so that I can fix it.
You can
like,
fix
is it because I sent too many connection requests? Okay, cool. I won't. But I need to know that, that is the reason. So they never tell you the reason. All they say is there was some suspicious activity, and then they are like, okay, so we have decided to ban your account. You will get your account back in 24 hours. And then I'm like, what did I even do? So now I don't use any automations. I do not recommend automation. Use LinkedIn, I LinkedIn, nothing else.
Yeah.
So for generating leads, I think one alternative way of sales navigator is you can go for other tools like Apollo or Crunchbase or any platforms that can help you generate leads. They also give you the profile link of the founder or whoever you want to reach out to. And once you know, okay, see, the thing is, people use these tools so that they can know that the company have enough money to pay them. That is like one of the main criteria. That if their revenue falls between X and Y, okay, the company is capable enough to pay me, and I'm capable enough of generating results for them. Because again, you cannot be generating results for a company who just came out like 6 months ago. Maybe their product is not a good market fit.
Yeah.
That could be the case, right? So with companies who have been there in the industry for a couple of years, at least you know that, whatever efforts you're putting in, it's not going to go to vain. You can always tweak the strategy and you'll come to, like, if anything is going wrong, it's going wrong at my end and it's not at the company's end. So I think those are a couple of things for which people use these tools, and the same thing Sales Navigator provide you with. So I think in terms of this, you can also use these tools, which are comparatively cheaper. Like you can get it for like $2,000 or somewhere between, I would say, 1,500 to 3,000 bucks. You can get a lot of different tools, and you can use those tools to reach out to people on LinkedIn. But don't use automations. I am very scared of automations in general.
Once we completed about the Sales Navigator and the premium version for that matter, like you said, you was going to get into other tools, right? Like I was going to like specifically ask you that, from the very start, LinkedIn has been like, very clear about using third-party softwares. They were like very clear about it. Even, like when I also wanted to kind of, generate this email and all the leads for, getting clients from my freelancing, like before I start doing that, like I consulted with a lot of other LinkedIn people like, who've been very active, who've been doing a lot of great work on LinkedIn. I've asked them, they were like, please stay away from third-party softwares how much ever you can. Like, it's okay even if you even if it's okay even if you put in a lot of manual work, it's best to do manually. And on LinkedIn, as you said, it's like, use LinkedIn as LinkedIn, not anything else. So like they're kind of, very sensitive. Maybe like they don't want to become, in terms of the organic reach, in terms of, features, they are kind of, I would say like 99% similar to Facebook because they're doing all this features and all the stuff. Because, I still remember once, and this is how I actually got into LinkedIn as well. Like I still remember, I think it was like 4 to 4.5 years back. I still remember that Gary Vee once said that LinkedIn is acting like Facebook 2012. Like once I think you would have known like how Facebook was like once upon a time, right? Like everybody was on Facebook. So he was like, LinkedIn is the hot right now. Like LinkedIn is literally acting like Facebook. You get on LinkedIn, like literally you can tap into this, what he calls this, underpriced attention. So that's how everybody started getting. So, I was like kind of very skeptical about that, as you said, So I kind of, consulted with a lot of people, even they said like stay away from those tools and kind of use the platform as a platform, nothing else. So that's what even I've been following.
But now that the Gary Vee has said it, it's no more under attention or undervalued platform.
Every time he says like, he said that now again, Facebook Reels is kind of exploding, YouTube Shorts. So he always says, see, I'm kind of living in that particular moment. Like I am experiencing the attention and I'm giving you the tips. And if you guys are not taking it, obviously you're going to miss. Again, the platforms and features are going to keep changing. Like if you don't ride on the wave, obviously they're going to, like you're not going to get anything.
Naturally, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's enough for the lead generation. Next, I want to get into this. I would say another, I wouldn't say overrated, but I would say like more spoken word, which is freelancing. Recently, there's been a lot of stuff that's going on in freelancing. Even I have encountered a lot of things. I just wanted to ask you about, are the so-called freelance coaches and freelance gurus, right? Like, what is your opinion about them? Like, coming back to this course, I think even you would have come across all these courses, on this. Like, I don't want to specifically name these courses, but yeah, like, I just wanted to ask you, are these are these courses like really valuable? Like, I mean, are people like really trying to help other people? Are these coaches are trying to help, or like, is it just? I wouldn't like we cannot like exactly say the word scam. Is it not? Of course, they say that you can earn six figures by taking, my course and things like that. We know it's possible, but is it really possible in the time frame that they claim it to be? So, what is your opinion on those things?
After this, either we both are going viral or we both are getting cancelled. There's no in between.
Actually, this is actually second interview. No, I've already done. I think you'd have. Do you know about Vaibhav? Actually, Miss Vaibhav Yadav.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
I've had a session with him, so it's there on YouTube as well. But since my show is just getting started, it did not get a lot of popularity, I would say. So I did not get any negative comments for that matter. Maybe because from your side, like since you are also very active and you're getting a lot of traction on LinkedIn, so maybe if I get, I'm like very happy for that. We'll see like how people are gonna react to it. So
I
yeah,
mean, no negative, no publicity is negative. So
exactly,
PR is PR, but
exactly.
still don't want to get cancelled. So we'll try to stay away from controversial stuff. But in my opinion, okay, I think the way these courses are marketed, that's kind of misleading. A lot of the courses are misleading in that way because I'm sorry, but you cannot be working 2 hours and making 1 lakh.
Very true.
You gotta work your ass off, man. 1 lakh is not a small number. And when you're on social media and you just keep hearing it again and again, again and again, you kind of lose the value of it. So this is like a very repetitive conversation I have with my mom where I'm like, I'm just making this much. And my mom is like, Anushka, that's a lot of money. I'm like, it's not. Somebody else is making 6 times more. And that is going to be the case when you're on social media. And I think they kind of manipulate and exploit that insecurity of people of making money.
Very, very true.
Making money is like one of the most biggest insecurities anyone can have. And like, yes man, like
Exactly.
it's all about career and all of that.
Yeah,
So
very true.
they take that, they market it in a way that hey, you will be working only 2 to 3 hours and you will be making XYZ amount of money. And I'm not gonna lie, it is possible. Like I can be making 1 lakh by working 1 hour in a day, but it's been 2 years. I have established myself in a way that I have clients for I have a team who takes care of the back end. So even if I'm
Exactly.
working 1 hour in a day, I can make 1 lakh, but it took me 2 years. So please don't
Exactly.
forget the backstory. And I
Exactly.
get it when it comes to
Yeah, go on,
marketing.
go on.
When it comes to marketing, people, I mean, yeah, marketing is kind of tricky in that way that sometimes you just end up exaggerating stuff so much that it just becomes, it just blows out of proportion. And then you keep seeing all the ads everywhere, and then you actually start believing that it's possible. And I'm not saying by any means it's not possible, but there is a backstory to it which nobody talks about. So when
Very true.
I got into it, I was like, I'm not sure whether I can make that much money. I did not even have the intentions. I just got into it exploring. So my intention was that I'm still in second year of college. I have 3 more years to go. I have
Mhm.
enough time to explore this, and if I do not like it, I can take up a software job. No big deal.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Very true.
so when I started exploring, I got into it, and there were months initially when I did not make even a single penny. And that's how it is. The instability part is always gonna be there. Of course, with time, the instability part, it changes. Like initially, you might be making zero in certain months,
Mhm.
then your income just drops, and of course, which is problematic. But still,
Very true.
you will be making some amount. But yeah, I do have a problem with the way people promote and market their courses because that's not true. And then
Yeah.
people get frustrated. And I see like when I started out, um, I had like a lot of people around me. I was constantly
Mhm.
see who were hitting the numbers and goals and all of that, and I was very insecure that man, even I started with them. Why am I not able to make any of it? I don't see
Very
any
true.
of them around now. So I think, impatience come in the place anyway. Like the generation is very impatient. We all are impatient, and it's okay to be impatient. I think impatience is good, but it's also bad. Again, gotta strike a balance between the things. So impatience is good in a way when you have to execute things. Then you are impatient and you are like, I'm not gonna overplan it. I'm going to plan and execute and then see. So in that way, impatience is good. But when it comes to making money or making progress, you have to have patience because things takes time. It's a process. So, and then people get frustrated that she said or he said that I can make this much and I'm not able to make this much. Maybe something is wrong with me. This profession is not for me altogether. And then they quit. So,
Very true. I mean, obviously, I mean, like at the end of the day, it is that insecurity that people are targeting, and like people fall prey into that. So I think, like we are glad, I would say, that at least few people have started coming out and, kind of shedding lights on those things. So it's high time that people, I would say, see, as I said, like we cannot like directly go and judge, a freelance expert. Like we can never directly go say that, she or he is like completely scam. We cannot say that. But what I'm trying to tell is like you as a consumer, you as a target audience, you as a victim, I would say, uh, if you are in place, like whenever you get these numbers, so always, people kind of take this wrong. Like when there's numbers and money thrown at you, like we get, there's like a lot of impact when there's like numbers and money. Like when we look at the numbers and money, right? I mean, that's how marketing works. Like there's a lot of impact. So like I would say, like whenever you look at numbers or money or any of that matter, like be it a course or be it anything, I would say like you do your thorough, back end checkup. I
research.
would say like research, like do a complete research, and then if you still feel that yes, this is good, this is valid, this is legit, you can like go on, right? Like no, we cannot, again, like necessarily we cannot directly go and say a freelance course that you are a scam, like you're trying to cheat people. We cannot say that. Like what am I trying to say is like you being a consumer, like try to do your back end research completely, do a thorough, like dive deep, one layer deep down, and then like you understand like is it really worth it? Is it like really legit? By doing that,
So
you
I
can
want to add one more thing here. As you
sure.
said, the research part. Um, I wouldn't say that the online courses are scam. Of course, I'm
Mhm.
not saying this for all the courses. I've also come across many courses which are absolutely shitty. Like
Exactly.
they learn something and then there is inside there is nothing, and you are like,
Mhm.
shit, man, I have wasted my money. So, but on the good side, you can always call out those people on social media. Um, so that is one thing, one good thing about it. But I wouldn't say that all the courses are scam because I have
Exactly.
seen courses. So I actually developed a theory over a period of time. So I'm like
Mhm.
a little about me. I'm a very big course junkie. Like I keep buying
Okay.
courses every now and then.
Okay.
I'm always like
Mhm.
when ChatGPT came out, I bought 2 courses on ChatGPT. I was like, I want to know about it. So
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm that kind of person. So I have taken a lot of
Mhm.
courses. I've invested a lot. I've wasted a lot of money. And what I've came up with that, do you remember when we were in school, teachers always used to say that, hey, we are going to start this new chapter. So
Mhm.
read it at home and then come and then you'll be able to understand it better.
Understand it better. Yep.
It makes more sense now. It makes so much more sense now because I,
Really true.
so my journey started with a masterclass that I
Mhm.
took and I was able to get my first client within 14 days.
Okay.
And then I worked with
Okay.
that client and a couple of more clients. I worked, did my work for like good 2 months, and then I invested in a course. Like the
Okay.
master class was a part of the course. So
Mhm.
I invested in that course, and I was after doing the course. Yes, I was able to. So see, it's very tricky actually because when you take a course, you start feeling very smart, and you are like, oh, I know everything now. I can execute it whenever I have time. That's where you go wrong because that's what
Okay.
I did. I was like, I have
Mhm.
course, I have resources, I can make money. No,
Mhm.
because I need to start executing it to make money.
Execution is the part.
So for the next 4 months, it was very down, down, down because I wasn't
Mhm.
really executing anything. And that's where
Mhm.
I got my lesson that having a lot of courses doesn't help. It's all about,
Okay.
even if you have one course, you watch it like 4 times and you make the most
Mhm.
out of it. So courses can provide you with a lot of value, but you need to execute it. Another
Makes
thing
sense.
is if you do your research, like I worked for 2 months and then I took the course was so much more helpful because I
Okay.
already, it's same as that if you get something very easily, you don't value it. It's the same
Yeah,
thing
very true.
here.
Very true. Very true.
So because I did my research, I struggled to figure out certain things and then it was provided to me and more was provided to me. It was very helpful. I valued it. So I think before taking any course, make sure that you exhaust your free resources because I think there are more than enough free resources. Which
That's
takes
very
me to the next point that after a certain period of time, like now if I do any course, I'm like there's only like 0.5 or 1% new stuff that I learned from it. Because I believe
true.
there's only so much content. Only there's a limited amount of content. And if you take up like 5 different courses, the 99% content will be repetitive. It will be common
Yes.
among all.
Very true. Very
So,
true.
which means you do not need to take all the courses. Even if you take one course, trust me, you are getting 95% same content from all the other courses. It's just the
Yeah.
5%. And trust me, you can figure that 5% out on your own as well. And again, that's where it comes that if you have struggled, if you have worked hard, you will value all of it and you will be able to figure out the 5%, the rest of the 5%. So
Makes
I
sense.
think
Okay.
with courses, it's very tricky because, it gives you cheap dopamine hits that, oh, I read this, now I know this, I'm smarter,
Now I know it's
I can execute it anytime.
makes
So,
sense.
which gets tricky. So, even if you're taking courses, always, also one more thing. This is very interesting. So, there's a creator,
Okay.
and I consumed their content inside out.
Okay.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
was very active wherever they were, like on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I was always reading their content 24/7. And
Okay.
when they launched their product, 99% things were there from the social media content.
Oh.
And that's the case
Okay.
because, as I said, there's only so much information.
Exactly. It's that, I would say they have just kind of put it in
Compile it.
organized manner. Yeah,
Yes.
organized manner, structured. See, the only problem with this free content is that it's like scattered. It's like not
It's very
structured. Like you
unstructured.
have
Yeah.
to, it's been scattered everywhere. Like you just have to put it back and, make the structure. But when it comes to course, they kind of give you structure one. That's the, because, I haven't taken any course so far. Like whatever I'm doing currently, like whatever I've done, whatever I'm doing, like all, everything's for free, I would say. So like, one thing that which I've learned is like, the only problem with free core resources is that it's kind of like completely scattered
Time-consuming.
because I know again, because like everybody are content creators, like, in present world, it's like everybody are content creators, like right, if you turn right, left, center, like everybody say that I'm a content creator. So obviously you'll be lost in this pool of information. You'll be lost with this flood of information. So it's the matter of like, how are you kind of, structuring it. So that's the only thing. So, but but by the way, the theory like which you've pointed out that was like kind of like really very good. It's like as you said, the teacher story. It's like you do your research first, and then you kind of take that action so that you know whether it's really worth it or not. So that is like
So,
one thing.
extending that point, don't you think that if you're really, really willing to learn something, you can actually do the hard work, put in your time, put in your efforts to make the free content structure? Because I think
Exactly.
if you can do
Very
that,
true. Mm.
because that's what
Mm.
I have done for the
Very true.
first year, I did a lot of free courses. And in the second year, I did a lot of paid courses. So I have
Mm-hmm.
tasted both the things. And I
Yeah.
can tell that whatever is there for the paid content, you can easily find on the internet. Again, you need to know how to Google. Everything
Very
is
true.
there. I'm not promoting piracy, but I'm saying everything is there. You can figure out on your own.
Very true. Very true.
And as I said, dude, I make notes. I still make notes out of social media posts. So because
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much value if you know that. So people often overlook this thing. I feel because I haven't heard anyone talking about um
Okay.
you know consuming social media content in a way that like people talk a lot about reading books. People talk a
Mm-hmm.
lot about doing courses or watching videos or podcasts or
Makes
whatever,
sense. Makes
and
sense.
they are very helpful. I agree. But there are some really amazing creators who are putting out great content. You just need to have the patience to read that long ass post. But there is so much information. So
Makes sense.
I would say
Okay.
if you're a beginner, don't buy any courses. You have
Very
90,
true.
like you
Very
can
true.
go from an absolute newbie to a beginner to intermediate level without any paid courses. It
Exactly.
just, if you want to like really, really scale up, that's when you need, a little bit more structured guidance. That's when you
Okay.
should invest and you'll have your own money to invest.
Exactly, very true. Now moving on, like I wanted to talk about AI tools. So recently, I think for the past 2 to 3 months, like I've been literally playing around with a lot of AI tools. And the best part about all these tools is that even though you don't have money to pay, like they give you this free trial, free version. So that is a great part about all these tools. So what I was doing is like I've been like literally playing around with a lot of tools. And recently, I think it's just been like 1 week or so, like I fell in love with this tool called Clay, which is spelled as CLAY. It's an AI platform to maintain your entire network. So basically, this is how it works. Okay. You'll be able to connect your Gmail account, Microsoft account, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Like you'll be able to connect all your accounts. So once what this Clay does is once you integrate your account, it takes information, of the connected account. It takes away all the information and it gives you exactly what are the things that's happening. So let's say, for example, we both got connected and we've been mailing for a few times about this connecting this meet. Okay, so it kind of says that Anish, you mailed Anushka like 4 months back. You mailed Anushka like 2 months back. You mailed Anushka like just 1 week back, and it kind of gives you the reminder also to reconnect with them in case if you have missed connecting with them. The best part about is that like I can click into your profile, so there'll be a section called people. And all the people, whoever is in my network, it kind of, lists over here. So what I can do is I can click in your profile. I can add in all the information that I want. I can give in your first name, last name, your birth date, your bio, your all your social media links. I can like literally do everything. I can kind of give all the information, and it's private only to me. Like I'll not be able to give it to other people. And it won't be visible to others. It's like private only to me. I mean, since obviously like when we both are connected, I'll obviously add your data, right? So I can give in all those data. And then what you can do is I can add note to you. So I can say like, remind me to send a draft email. I mean, like remind me to send an email to Anushka tomorrow at 4 p.m. I can just write a note and it gives me the reminder. And if I wanted to draft email, I don't have to sit and, think about the body of the content and things like that. I can just say, hey, draft me a mail to Anushka asking if she's available to schedule a meeting today evening. And it gives me the mail and I can just directly send that mail to you. I was like literally blown away this particular tool. I mean, it's like the one AI tool to maintain our entire network. Like you name any, app, you can connect with any of the app, and it gives you like so power. So I just wanted to say that this was like one tool, and I have built an AI tool depository in my Notion, which is specifically for my community members. And by the way, it's not a promotion, but I just wanted to say that I have built my own community in NAS.io. I hope you're aware of this platform called NAS.io. It's a product by NAS Daily. So what do they do is it kind of gives you the centralized platform to maintain and grow your community. So as I said, my sole intention of this podcast and YouTube show was to kind of educate people on all the things that's happening around the world. So what I do is, I have my own Notion page, which is specifically designed for my community members, and I keep updating all the things. So in that particular Notion page, I have built an AI depository in such a way that you'll be able to filter out all the things. Like if you click in social media, it'll give you all the top 3 tools and like what are its uses. Like it gives you this free, is it free or is it paid and things like that. So like every day I keep building an AI tool depository, like which means like you don't have to be lost in terms of finding which is the best tool, like or which tool should you start using. Like I kind of build this AI tool depository because like I follow a lot of newsletters, I follow a lot of content, and from there like I extract all those tools, I use it myself, and I check whether it is really good, and then I put into my AI tool depository, and that's how I came across this tool called Clay, which was like really mind blowing. So in that sense, like how much tool I wouldn't, and I don't want to know the number of tools you have used. Like, which is your favorite tool? Like, how many tools you have used? Like, what was your experience has been in terms of using AI tools and automation for that matter?
First of all, I want access to your community and I want
Very
access
true.
to that notion.
Exactly. No issues. I'll give you.
So in terms of AI, I haven't explored a lot of tools, but I have
Okay.
explored so there is so I have explored, of course, ChatGPT being the OG in the picture.
Very
I've
true.
explored like different ways of using it. I have
Mm-hmm.
experimented with, so like recently what I started doing that when you, so I also do personal branding, right? Personal branding being the
Yeah.
core of it. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I take in a client, I have to like sit down with the client, understand their mindset, their ideas, and everything in between in order to create content that actually sounds like them. And which is like a
Okay.
really tricky part because often you end up adding your own opinions into it, your own
Mm.
style into it.
Very true. I've gotten, I
So
mean, like, I was gonna say that I've gotten solution for you here. I know, I don't remember the exact tool, but I think I have like around 2 or 3 tool in my AI tool repository, which is specifically kind of, I would say, like solving your problem. So let's say, for example, you're sitting in a meet and the meet is going for around like 45 to 50 minutes. It kind of
uh-huh.
records each and everything. So, like, it records and it kind of transcribes everything for you. And then what you can do is, if you wanted to find anything in between, like if your client has been saying, you can kind of ask like what is this thing, and it gives you only those, that particular content. Like it kind of literally takes away everything, it records everything, and it has this database. So you don't have to, you said like sometimes you add in your own points, like you'll not know like what the client has said, right? So that tool kind of helps you. I don't remember the exact name because like I've been building a lot of tools. So that tool will help you here. Just thought of
So
recommending you. Yeah,
that
boom.
part, how I have been solving that problem, I use Otter AI
Okay.
to record the meetings and it transcribes
Mm-hmm.
everything well. I
Mm-hmm.
take all that data. Of course, I have to
Okay.
manually refine it, get rid of all the things that I don't
Mm-hmm.
need, and then I feed it
Mm-hmm.
in ChatGPT, and
Okay.
I use prompts to create a brand book and also a couple of
Okay.
different prompts. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if I have to write content for you, okay. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
is I'm gonna go to your profile. I'm gonna pick like 5 posts, 5 or 6
Okay.
posts, then feed it to
Okay.
ChatGPT, and
Mm-hmm.
then allow ChatGPT to create like a
Oh.
then I will ask ChatGPT to create a prompt for the same thing. Let's say if I have
Oh.
to, uh, you know, I'll ask ChatGPT to act like you and then
Mm-hmm.
write content. Okay. So
Exactly.
when we get on calls, I'll take inputs from you that here, so for example, I'll ask a couple of questions. You'll give me your opinions that, this is what I think, that is what I think. I take all that data. Again, I'll feed it to ChatGPT and then
Mm-hmm.
and the output comes, it's pretty good. Like it's pretty solid. I do not have to edit it a lot.
Very
And
true.
I have experimented it with like 2 clients and it has worked out well. Saves a lot of
Okay.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have explored ChatGPT more in terms of how you can engineer the prompts better, how you
Mm-hmm.
can figure out different ways of solving these problems because this was always a very tricky part.
Exactly. Very true. Very true.
Understanding
I mean, like,
the client's
very true.
tonality, personality, and all of that. And especially when you have so many clients, you get confused that, oh, you didn't say that. He said that. Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Exactly.
So
Makes sense.
now this is something I'm also like doing knowledge transfer to my team that,
Mm-hmm.
this is how you can make the most out of it. So
Okay.
I still remember like one I onboarded this team member and she was like, Anushka, is it all right to use ChatGPT? I'm like, why are you making it sound like as if it's illegal? It's not. Chill out. You can use it, but you need to know how to use it.
Yeah,
So
very
coming
true.
back to the point, I have explored more in terms of ChatGPT how to do
Okay.
things rather than
Mm-hmm.
exploring more tools. But
Okay.
yes, I have been exploring. Like Otter AI does a great job in terms of transcriptions. The transcriptions are 95% accurate, which is
Accurate.
great.
Okay. Great.
Considering
Great.
provided you are talking in English, it it comes up with good transcriptions.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna go explore your notion. Then maybe if we do a second episode, I can come and I could give a very detailed breakdown on if you want to
Great.
do this, these are the tools. If you want to do this, these are the tools.
Exactly. And I've got an idea over here. Like, I mean, like, I was like kind of really impressed by the prompt that you kind of gave me now. I hope I mean, like you talked about writing content for me, right? Like, I mean, in case if you have hired me as your client, like if you wanted to know my brand tonality, you would kind of take 5 posts of me and put it back into ChatGPT and ask a prompt, right? I think that, and like, I kind of pray that that particular part should be below 1 minute so that I can repurpose it into my reel or shorts. That will be kind of very good because that prompt was like really good. Uh, I know I'm gonna do that. And I just after you said that, I just got an idea. Like, in my community, I can also host events. So like, if you're free and like if there's chance, like if you could do it, maybe like I can ask you to kind of teach people on how to
Yeah.
do this prompt engineering, because that's the key to winning, to get the data from ChatGPT, right? So that is another idea which I've generated. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of good, the tools which you used. And for me, like I would say, like literally every day, the only work extra, like no matter like whatever the work I have, every day I'll sit down and kind of at least, use one new tool every day. So that is what like my aim as of now. So is that like, I wanted to build this very powerful AI tool depository that if people say like they want
Mhm.
a particular tool for content, they should have one. If they select for marketing, one, like for networking, for like anything, for that matter. So I'm kind of, exploring a lot of tools, and this clay was like really mind blowing. And there's like, another tool called Loop Genius. It kind of takes your marketing, like, it's like 360-degree marketing. It takes your marketing A to Z, right from building a website to lead generation. It does all the work for you. I think it's gonna be really helpful for you if you use this tool called Loop Genius. It's like, Loop, it kind of that's all the work. You just give in your prompt, you just say like, what is your business is about, you give in your, size, what is your business size, you give in your bio, you give in all the data, it will generate the website, it will generate all the social media content for you, it will kind of repurpose the content, it will also generate leads for you. That is the biggest part, here. So that is another tool. Yeah.
Sounds
So
very
this,
cool.
yeah, I mean, a lot of tools is coming out. As you said, I mean, OG being ChatGPT, but there are like other tools that is like, I would say, I'm not going to say it's just like completely better than ChatGPT, but I would say that like other tools which are like really mind blowing. Like they have the specific, use cases. So in that sense,
Yeah.
other tools are like really great. That's like, really great. So yeah, with that, I would love to end the session. It was like really great talking to you. I mean, like before ending the session, is there any last words or thoughts that you have that you want to share it with my community? Please go ahead if there's any.
If I have to summarize this entire thing into like 5 points, let's try to do that so that we have takeaways.
Okay.
Firstly, I would
Sure.
say whenever you are going for a paid course, be careful.
Mhm.
First of all, as a beginner, you do not need a course, to be honest. You can explore
Okay.
everything. You have ChatGPT, you have Google, you have YouTube, you have so many platforms, you have social media, so you do not need a course. And if you
Mhm.
do, make sure that you follow that creator for quite some time, because usually all these courses are very expensive. So if you're
Yeah.
putting out so much money and
Oh
burning a
God.
hole in your pocket, at least do your research properly. So
Exactly.
that's one thing. I'm
Mhm.
sorry you cannot make 1 lakh per month with 2 hours of work. That's not possible. To be there,
That's a
you
truth
have to,
bomb.
like, of course, have your own journey. So it will take time, but it is possible, and you can make more. In fact, for that matter. But yeah, that's that. If you're a beginner, just be careful with the whole AI thing. Use it to your advantage, but don't let it, take a toll on your skill set or sabotage your whole skill set thing. Because I think that's where it gets
Makes
tricky,
sense.
that you start relying on it too much and then it just messes up everything. I would say awareness. Okay, this is something we didn't really talk a lot about, but I think awareness is something like I completely agree with this thing, that if you have awareness, you can do a lot of things. And I solely
Mhm.
believe in
Very
that.
true.
And that's why I absolutely
Very
love the concept behind your podcast. Um, so I think having a lot of awareness comes from consuming a lot of good quality content. So maybe take out, like,
true.
mark 15 minutes or 30 minutes in your day, like spare out that time to just solely consume good quality content. If you are a video learner, watch YouTube, watch reels, watch videos. If you are a person who likes to read, you can consume content on Twitter, LinkedIn, emails, websites. There's just so much. So consuming good quality content, it doesn't need to be limited to podcasts or reading books. Of course, these are great,
Yep.
but if you don't have the time, figure out an alternative. It really helps.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
how many points did I say? I forgot.
Three.
Three? We have two more to go.
Yeah.
What else did we talk about?
Uh, you mean like you've talked about your freelancing, like how beginners should be careful about it, and number two, you have talked about this awareness part. And number three, you've talked about how to use AI if you're beginner. So is there anything, any other things that you want to add?
Oh, yeah. Coming to the lead generation part of it, so I would say that when it comes to when you're pitching people, keep it very crisp to the point, because if it's too long
Okay.
or if it's generic, high chances you won't get a reply. So just balance it out, and it's
Okay.
something
Makes sense.
you it comes from experimentation, which leads me to the fifth point, that experiment a lot,
Okay.
fail a lot. I think this is like one of the like I was very scared to fail initially. Now I'm not. I just keep putting myself into very uncomfortable positions that, let me just do this. I know I'm gonna fail at it, but let me just do it. Because the more you make yourself uncomfortable, you learn more things. The more you experiment, the more aware you
Very
become.
true. Very
So
true.
5 points
Yeah.
done.
Exactly. That was great. I mean, like, so to kind of sum it up, you said like, one is like if you're a beginner freelancer, if you're just newbie, you don't need any paid course. There's like a lot of free courses. I mean, like free courses and resources, which is like more than enough. And number two, be kind of self-aware. I mean, like not only self-aware, yeah. And I just wanted to emphasize on this awareness part. When it comes to awareness, there's like kind of two things. One is you've got to be self-aware of like what do you love, what are the things that you want to do. And number two, you've got to be aware about the things that's happening around the world. So, combining these two things should kind of help you out in your life generally. So that's what, I also kind of believe in. So, today, I mean, like, obviously people say that you are in 21, you've just come to college, you're not sure, like, what do you want to do? I mean, that's kind of, I'm like, not sure, like, how can people literally figure out a life when they're just 20? So that is another, great thing that we've, I mean, like, once we start talking about it, that's going to go long, that's another topic for another day. So that is another thing. So third thing is like, lead generation. Number four, like use AI tool. I mean, like if you're a beginner, use your AI tool for your advantage, but don't completely rely on that because it doesn't show who you are. That authenticity doesn't comes into play. And number five, I'm so sorry, like I went or I just forgot what is number five. So
Experimentation.
exactly. So
Experimentation.
experimentation, experiment, and kind of learn so that you will know which is working for you, which is not working for you, which maybe, I mean, like when you're experimenting at the starting stages, you're kind of, you might feel like you're wasting time. It's not giving a result, but in the longer run, it's going to pay you really well. So it's the key thing that, especially when it comes to social media, I mean, experimentation is the key. Like we'll not know exactly what is going to work.
Yeah.
The algorithm is kind of, changing every day. So you just have to keep experimenting and learn and experiment. And yep. And I know, by the way, to all my community members and to Anushka's community members, like whoever is watching, I'm gonna share, all my community, those, the SNAS community details below. If anyone in Anushka's community would want to learn about AI, Web3, NFT, I'm also into Web3 and NFT. Like I don't have a very great knowledge, but I'm learning every day, so I kind of talk about Web3 and NFT as well. So if you want to learn about all those things as well, you can just join my community. It's completely free. I'm not gonna, ask you to pay anything for that. It's not membership based. It's completely free. I'm gonna kind of give everything for free as much as I can. Whatever I learn, it's like, no, I'm not doing anything rocket science. Like it's like whatever I learn, I'm just gonna give it to you people. The only thing is like I don't want you to be lost in this flood of content. I just want you to get exactly what you require or what is needed. So please join. And yeah, that was a great session. Thank you so much, Anushka, once again for being on my show.